Agent After Hours. I am Tyler here with Rachel Gilchrist today, and we're talking about lead conversion because you just closed your first KvCore lead.
Yes.
So I just want to talk about what does that process look like? Was it different than other lead sources you've had in the past, and how it obviously ended up closing last week?
Yeah. I don't think it was very different. It seemed to be like it was maybe a little more quality. They were very ready to go. Could also just be an individual circumstance. Military family moving to the area, came in as a lead May 22nd.
Okay.
We actually, the very first house I showed them through virtual tour, wrote an offer on, did not get that one, but looked at about 3 more, and they closed July 28th. So 2 months later from the point they came in to the point they closed.
Yeah,
So
less than 60 days for an online lead is
I'll take it.
unheard of.
I'll take it.
No, so tell me what your process looks like for incubating or converting that lead.
Yeah, so actually, funny enough, this one was one that came in that was a KvCore, but it came in with no phone number.
Okay.
It was an email only.
No kidding.
Yeah. So it was an email only. I mean, like I said, I think there was probably a little bit of luck involved, but they were very responsive, and I just made sure I kept on top of reaching out, finding out more what they wanted. You know, like I said, military family, so they had a pretty strict timeline. They had to be here by a certain time.
Sure.
But they also don't know the area very well.
Gotcha.
So, you know, kind of helping with, obviously within fair housing, with what they wanted though in the areas that they were interested in, close proximity to base, different things like that. So just really keeping the lines of communication open as much as possible.
Sure. Did it take multiple follow-ups? Did they respond to the first email?
I think it was the second email.
Second email?
I don't think it was the first one, yeah.
Okay, so what does your first email that go out look like? What's the second one go out look like?
Oh gosh, you're asking me to remember what I emailed out 2 months ago?
Yes.
I think the first one with KvCore, they came in on a certain listing.
Sure.
So I think I reached out, I think it was regarding that certain listing. They didn't respond. I sent them another one that was similar for the second one. And that's when they responded and kind of gave me their blurb about moving to the area.
Sure.
And like, you know, really opened up the lines of communication on what they were looking for. I think once they realized that it was a real human emailing them,
Yep.
and not just like an auto email, I think that may have helped too.
Sure. Now, for those of you who don't know, Rachel's on our team, and we recently converted to not sending out any canned text, automatic text through our CRMs. Because they do require now the stopped or opt out, which we know looks like automation and is not a real human.
Yep.
So we started sending those texts out manually. Are you having a better response on those?
Yeah, compared to when we had the
Automated.
the automated with the opt-out option, you know, every response was unsubscribe,
Right.
unsubscribe. I'm just trying to look. You know, having that, I think also sending them from my direct 937 phone number
Sure.
probably helps too.
Well, especially in the case if they have an iPhone, they know it's a real person right then and there. The other thing I know that you started doing is you started sending videos to people.
The dry erase board.
Dry erase board videos.
Yes.
Bringing it back old school. Tell me about the response you've had on those. I know we haven't converted any of those, but I think the response has been good.
Yeah, it has. So we just have our little dry erase board and we'll write, "Hi, Erica," and hold it up. And then, you know, kind of, it's a very short video that I would send then as a text message, basically just in lieu of necessarily what your first text would be, just to kind of separate yourself and switch it up a little bit. I mean, when somebody sees a video pop in, at least I know I'm more likely to hit play on that than a random text message. I'm just gonna scroll past.
Sure.
So yeah, it takes a little getting used to at first. It feels kind of awkward,
Right.
but once you get in the groove of it, it's not bad. And like I said, you know, people are more likely to respond to something that looks like it's come from a real human.
Right.
You know, you see my kitchen table in the background, like.
Well, and the dry erase board with their name on
Yeah.
it is like, oh, this is personalized to me.
Yep.
And I know one of the cool things that you and Lauren started doing was batching these,
Yeah.
going through the CRM and just saying, hey,
all the Johns at once. You just write, "Hi, John," and then you can hit 10 Johns back to back.
I love it. Going back to this lead real quick.
Yep.
You ended up, this was kind of a rare one. Not super rare, but
It makes me nervous every time, but yes.
but you never actually met, you still haven't met them.
I still have not met them. No, and they've still not seen the house in person.
And they closed last week?
Yes. So they are military, moving here from the other side of the country. You know, unfortunately, it just does not allow for them to be able to come and look in person.
Sure.
You know, every showing that we did was via FaceTime, even during inspections. You know, I FaceTime them there so they could actually speak with the inspector at the home. Final walkthrough, everything was FaceTime. So yes, they signed off on it and still have not seen it, which
makes you nervous.
makes me nervous, but I mean, I think it'll be fine.
No, so are there any steps along the way that you would recommend agents take to make that transition for them a little smoother, or anything that you did personally?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously we should all be good at communication, but in a situation like this, you also have to accept that these people are going to be extra nervous.
Yeah.
They're making one of the biggest purchases of their life, sight unseen.
Yeah.
So, you know, keeping up the communication, answering every single question they have, even if it may seem a little ridiculous. And like I said, I just offered to FaceTime them through everything. You know, while they did, of course, get their PDF of their inspection report from the inspector, I said, hey, do you want me to FaceTime you while you're there so you can actually see the inspector and ask him any questions? Which, you know, it's not something I probably would normally do if a buyer was
Sure.
local, even if they didn't go to inspection.
Right.
But just kind of little extra things like that, I think helped. And I just, you know, sent them a lot of pictures, sent them everything that I could do to keep them feeling as comfortable as possible.
Awesome. Any last minute tips or tricks for agents looking to convert online leads?
Don't give up.
It truly is a numbers game. We know that. It
Yes.
takes multiple responses. Obviously, if you would have given up after the first email,
Yep.
you wouldn't have closed them last week.
Yeah, I think in just being original to you,
Yeah.
people can see through the fakeness and the canned responses. So just being as original to you as you can, I think, is what's going to do it. Authentic.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me.
Of course.
I know you're ready for some food, so
Always hangry.
all right. See you guys next time.